Hello my people, this is Prince of Asphodel coming at you with another video this one I recorded a few weeks ago. It's in Master Rank with my buddy Sakaven. We've got a diverse set of Pokemon here, both teams looking very, very strong. This is before the October nerfs and buffs, so Mewtwo is still potentially the most powerful Pokemon that there's ever been in this game. Then again, Lapras on our side, a very, very strong Pokemon. Garchomp and Venusaur having insane late games. Both teams having tanks, 2 apiece, is going to make for a very, very interesting match. And in fact, one of the things I've started paying a lot closer attention to as I've been progressing as a player is learning what Pokemon's power spikes are and keeping them in mind. Now, what that means is some Pokemon just get more powerful from one level to another compared to whenever else they level up, right? So for a Pokemon that evolves, like my beloved Crustle, that's going to be level 4 because your stats just get so much more inflated, and usually it comes with learning a new move. Cinderace, of course, gets a great power spike at level 7 when it gets its final evolution. Venusaur as well as level 13, famously one of the greatest late-game carry Pokemon that there are. Now, Pokemon that don't have to evolve, like Pikachu and Lapras and Mewtwo, they're probably okay at most levels. Trevenant here needs level 5 to evolve and hit that power spike, right? And Urshifu, even more so. Man, the difference between level 4 Kubfu and level 5 Urshifu, there isn't a steeper climb between one level and the next in the game, in my opinion. So, these are all really useful things to keep in mind because they really tell you what you need to do in order to get ahead when you might be falling behind, or vice versa, when it's really important to hinder your enemy and make sure they don't get a level on you, right? So here, Sakaven and I are split up because of the way that our allies call their lanes. So I am a top lane tank today, which is fine. I'm with a Kubfu who knows what they're doing. The Soul Master player was pretty good, if I remember. It's good practice to go for the mid-farm first, and our opponents did not contest. So that's wonderful, because we need those levels, right? And here is where we see who we're laning against for the first time. And it's a Mewtwo. See, this is really bad, because Mewtwo is already hella powerful at level 3, whereas we really need our evolutions in order to contest. And you're going to see just how outmatched we are when this Mewtwo starts attacking us. Now I can apply a little bit of pressure, but I'm nowhere near as good. Sorry, the Kubfu is nowhere near as good. See, he's trying, he dived. The Mewtwo already had some damage, but he couldn't do much. So we really need that experience. I think I maybe could have tried a little harder to get the rabbit in the grass back there. By now here we get to probably the most important part of the early game, at least for our team composition, is these birds. Let's remember checkpoints. Urshifu really wants level 5, Crustle really wants level 4, Squirtle really wants level 5. All of these are one level away, and there's a bunch of experience that just popped up in the middle of the lane. So whoever wins this fight and steals these birds, or maybe even kills, is in a fantastic spot, right? The problem is, who is the stronger duo going into this fight? It's clearly not us. We're up against a Mewtwo. A pre-nerf Mewtwo-Y. This is quite the mountain we have to climb. So we're going to do our best here. The Squirtle's putting pressure on us, forces the Kubfu to retreat. I really need one of these kills. I recognize that experience is so, so valuable. And I do manage to steal one of the birds and evolve, but unfortunately our Kubfu gets taken down right before that happens. This is really bad, because if the longer we stay locked at level 4, the harder it's going to be to fight back. And the easier it's going to be for our opponents to kill us. Here we're going to see a big example of that. Kubfu went to go try and stop them from stealing our farm and stop them from stacking their points. It did not do anything. These guys can just wrangle a Kubfu, basically have their way with him. There's no contest. A level 4 Kubfu against these guys at level 5 and 6. Even I can't do much. So here I'm trying to take our farm, get as much experience as we can, and see what that Kubfu did. It went into the jungle, took a Baltoy, made sure it had its level 5, and then came back. This is really good. Now, he made a mistake, yes, coming up with Kubfu, thinking that he could make a difference, but then he also realized, oh, that's not going to work. So instead of trying the same thing again, he went and solved the problem a different way, got his level 5, and now he's coming back. And now we're going to get to see what the difference is between level 3 Dwebble and level 4 Kubfu, and level 5 Urshifu and level 5 Crustle. The same two Pokemon that were beating the snot out of us just 30 seconds ago, deleted just like that. Just goes to show how important power spikes are in this game. Now we get our good scores, and we see this Gabite, the jungler, come up for the first time. Unfortunately, despite him being on his goal, he was still 2v1'd. 2v1'd. Couldn't do too much against us. Even this Mewtwo. Okay, here we do make a mistake. It was my opinion that the correct play was to retreat and get the birds on the way. Urshifu seems to be convinced that we could have killed the Mewtwo, and the Mewtwo went Mega. Bummer. We both end up getting killed here. Now, I think his focus band ended up popping because he was healing there. If we had simply stuck to one plan or the other, we definitely would have succeeded there. We would have killed the Mewtwo or stolen all the birds. But we ended up doing neither one nor the other because we split up. Now here I'm heading bottom path, and you can see the exclamation point of me calling that I'm heading to the bottom path so that my allies know where I'm going. And this is because we know that they have 2 up there. It's going to take us a while to get up there anyway. Why not just swing the pendulum farther at the bottom, and instead of contesting a Reggie that we're already on the losing side of, at the top path, because we're coming in late, let's just guarantee the bottom one, and at worst, we'll probably trade 1 for 1, right? And the bottom Reggie is the more valuable of the 2, so that's why I'm heading bottom here. Get my level 7 due to the passive XP. Not a big breakpoint for Crustle, but levels are always nice. Levels are a lot of defense and HP. Now here I see that my allies have pushed out the enemy bottom laners, but I start ripping the Reggie just so that they can finish it with less time when they come down here. Now here the Trevenant is trying to come in and scrap and take the Reggie, but I make a good series of plays here. I know that I have allies hitting this Reggie, so I just need to get this Trevenant out of the way. We're going to X-Scissor him this way. We're going to wait till he walks, and boom, lock him out with a Rock Tomb. Some Pokemon can jump over Rock Tombs with dashes. Trevenant has no dashes. So I know this Rock Tomb is perfectly safe to put here, and he shouldn't be able to reach that Regice. And so, easy secure. We go back up top. This Venusaur really liked being in lane here. Ends up killing the Wartortle that had traveled downward after getting the Regieleki, up there. So here I'm heading back to my lane, find some birds on the way, figured why not. It's always a good idea to take the mid birds, just so that your opponents don't find them later and get their easy XP, right? Here is the Urshifu. We are heading up. There are birds up here too, but we decide to score first, so I go in to support him. And here, I can't quite make sense of why I do this. I decide to just not score the 15. Oh, you know what? It just occurs to me that it might be because the goal would have broken with 15, and I wanted a bigger overscore. Oh, that's right, it's at 5. I didn't want to overscore by just 10. But the Urshifu scores 10 anyway. Now here, this is one of my favorite moments in this match, guys. I meet the Cinderace and the Garchomp in the jungle. I just hit my level 9. I said earlier that's a big power spike for Crustle, but these guys are fully evolved, right? This Garchomp, the jungler, he's not as fed on XP as he should be as a jungler, but that's alright. Here, I kind of panic and hit my Unite button because I'm getting 2v1'd. And so the Cinderace backs up. He wants to do other things. This is a really good learning lesson for anyone that plays against Crustle. If you are this Garchomp, you disengage here. There is no way you're winning this fight. This Garchomp could have united me back, and he still would have lost. Because this player didn't understand the power that is Rebel Rouser. So, let me hit you with some facts, alright? That orange that you see on my HP bar, that is my HP. So it's at less than half. That's my true HP. The white stuff, that is a shield that I'm getting from Rebel Rouser, right? Now, Crussle's ability is called Sturdy. And the way it works is, for the lower percentage of HP you have, the more stacks of Sturdy you get, all the way up until they stack until 10. and each one of them is boosting your defense and your special defense. Now, even though my bar is very close to full, the orange section is my true HP. So that is how many sturdy stacks I would have. It's just below 50. I would have to assume I have 6 or 7 stacks of sturdy. So that is a massive defense, on top of which you need to break down all of that white shield before you even start touching my real HP. All the while, I'm hitting you with passive damage with the floating rocks around me, and I'm dealing revenge damage. Every time you hit the Crustle, you take a bunch of damage back. This effectively nullifies Garchomp's lifesteal. But the Garchomp doesn't realize this. He thinks he could win this fight, and by the time he realizes there's no way he's winning this fight, it's too late. Rock Tomb and X-Scissor provide the crowd control that deny his escape. And that's what I love about this X-Tomb combo of these moves. They're really, really good at preventing escape. Now here, this Blastoise gets caught in a bad spot as well. A level 11 Urshifu and a level 9 Crustle with no help in sight. This is one dead turtle. So I X-Scissor him toward the wall and lock him in with Rock Tomb. That was excellent. However, he surfs downward where his target is, and so he makes it out of the Rock Tomb, but I managed to X-Scissor him into the wall again, and we make short work of him. Now this objective's about to pop. Oh, we find a Garchomp down here. He's back, and this time he does Unite, and the Unite is strong enough to take down our Urshifu, but it expires, and remember, sturdy, boosts defense and special defense, right? A very hard rock to crack here. But now I'm kind of low on HP, and I want to go home. I certainly cannot solo rip a Regieleki in time. And here I had this rather comical situation where this Mewtwo flies right next to me, doesn't realize that I'm in this bush, and I'm over here sweating, hyperventilating, hoping he doesn't see me. He doesn't. I make it back to base, and now I have a decision. Do I go top? Do I go bottom? I see the Urshifu went bottom. Like I said, I'm not solo ripping a Regieleki, so I'm guessing I also go bottom here. Yep. Might as well guarantee that we get that bottom one. Of course, either me or the Urshifu, I don't know who put up that keep the pressure on symbol, but it's a good idea. Now here, this is almost like an exact copy of the situation we were in last time. So I go in, say, I know exactly what to do to this tree. Yeah, it turns out this tree got the better of us this time. Check out how good this Hornleech is going to be. Boom! Hits 3 of us, and then the Unite move hits all of us. It was so close to stealing that objective. Luckily, Urshifu got a tap on it at the end there, and then we managed to kill it. Sakaven miraculously escapes with a hair of HP left. Of course, the Blastoise was able to take the top Regi. Venusaur is doing his part to stop it. Luckily, they didn't push with it, because they wanted to come down and help with the bottom Regi, I guess. Now here, we're moving up as a pack, so these two should have no chance here. This poor Garchomp getting caught out again. This is the 3rd time I killed this Garchomp. Now here, the Blastoise hits a good Unite on the 3 of us, but we just had too much HP for it to do anything. He has no good escape options. He gets killed here. Trevenant is going to take advantage of that Regieleki, whereas we want to score some on our opponents here. Now here, the Garchomp finds me, but guess what's off timer? Now, the last time I used Rebel Rouser, by the way, let me see, we're at 7:14. I want to rewind real quick to this moment. Here. This was technically not the greatest place to use the Unite move, because we weren't fighting over anything. So if the Garchomp had done what the Cinderace did and simply disengaged from me, they would have wasted that Unite move instead of fed themselves to me, right? Like the Garchomp did. But one thing I did like about that Unite move right there is the timing. With 5:07 left at the end of this Unite, I can almost guarantee that I've got another 2 uses of this move before the end of the game. And that's important because you really want to make sure your Unite move is back up by the Ray fight, right? So now if we go back to 7:14 where we were, here. The Garchomp thinks, aha, this time I've got this Crustle. Yeah, so you guys remember Sturdy, right? The ability, the lower my HP is, the more stacks I've got. And I am so low right now, I might just have all 10 stacks of Sturdy. So, this is an even worse situation for the Garchomp than it was last time. Even with his Mewtwo ally here, they're not going to be able to do much unless they pull off. So here the Garchomp this time remembers, but no, there's too much damage here. The Urshifu comes and helps to dive in, but all of their allies swarm in on us. Blastoise comes back and uses the jump pad to get up here. Cinderace comes back and uses the jump pad to get up here. And Trevenant backs off from where he was at the top lane. So I do end up dying. However, funny enough, this Garchomp is 0 for 4 in his fights against Crustle. Poor dude. Alright, so here we're able to clean up the top lane, make sure no one else scores on us. Here, I go bottom, because there's no objectives on the map. I'm looking for things to do. Good argument for maybe getting the catch-up XP at the top lane, just to make sure that those Indeedys don't stop there. I didn't think about that. I was only thinking about the fact that I didn't want to steal the jungle, and that I wanted to protect our extended goal that still stood at the bottom lane, because no one was there. So that's why I jumped bottom. Trevenant's already there, but he just scored 10. This is a funny sequence here. I try and trap this Trevenant that I expect to run away, but no, he runs straight toward me in the opposite direction, scores in another 1 point. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me if this tree is actually stacking, and just simply hadn't had a chance to do so until this point in the game. That's kind of funny to think about. It hadn't occurred to me until just now that that's what he's doing right here. Now, the Crustle versus Trevenant matchup is really funny. We have so much stunning and crowd control, but our defenses are just so high that neither one can really touch the other in a way that ends the fight meaningfully quickly. So basically, whoever wins this match is whoever's ally makes it back the quickest to finish it. So here you're going to see the hammers and the scissors flying galore, the horn leeches, the rock tombs. So much zoning and not a lot of damage being dealt. I am winning the fight just because I've got a level advantage, and here comes the Lapras and the Garchomp. Uh-oh. This Garchomp is 0 for 4 against Crustle right now. Can he pull one back? Looking at the screenshot right here, I kind of like our odds. We've got a level on each of them. But what happens here, I think I put up this Rock Tomb that ends up doing a little bit more harm than good, zoning out the Lapras. Then again, Lapras is a ranged Pokemon. I'm not entirely sure. Trevenant's horn leeching in the opposite direction here. But Garchomp's able to get in some good hits. Trevenant scores, and more importantly... Sorry, I've seen this replay a number of times, and I didn't notice this in the game or in any of the replays until this very last one, that while we're so distracted with this fight, the Cinderace sneaks up right behind us and scores a total of 40 points. That is huge. And then, of course, as soon as he does, boom, in come the fireballs. Rips both of the tanks. All of them stay standing. Now, luckily, this Pikachu's got us. He's going to run right up in here. Boom! Thunderstorm. Takes out all of them in seconds. That was really cool. Now, the problem is this Pikachu doesn't have its Unite move. Neither do I, neither does the Venusaur. Ours are probably coming back soon, but the Ray is here in 5 seconds. Now this is going to be one messy fight because I can't jump to the to the center, because we've got a Blastoise carrying 50 trying to score on us at the top. Now it could be said, this is what we arguably should have done, is the fact that 3 of them are dead, and only our Lapras is dead, and Lapras doesn't have Insane Rip to begin with. We could have just ripped that Rayquaza as fast as we could. But the Venusaur is already moving away from the Rayquaza trying to score, effectively mirroring the Blastoise's movements. Maybe we should have ignored the Blastoise, but seeing as we didn't have help from the Venusaur, I did not believe we could take down that Rayquaza fast enough. So anyway, I go up there to stop that Blastoise. This is going to be a chapter that repeats itself, with the Blastoise trying to dump 50 in this top goal. So I follow him downward. I make sure that he's not planning on coming back. At least as sure as I can afford to be, because I don't want to not be there for the Ray fight. Here I hit my level 12. Again, not the most significant checkpoint. Level 11 and level 13 are where you get your plus moves as Crustle, the typical levels. However, every level at this game comes with extra HP, extra defense, extra special defense, so you really want those as a tank, right? So, in we go. The Lapras zones me out with Surf, and then Hydro Pump, and oh goodness, what did I just take there? My HP went down by quite a bit. Oh. It looks like that was the Mewtwo Unite. Yep. I thought it was the Blastoise's Hydro Pump that had dealt so much damage to me. That 1400 is what I took. Good lord, that Pokemon was strong. Well, the entire map taking all of that damage was definitely not good for us. This Pikachu's almost dead. The Surf almost clips him. For a second there, we were protecting him, but I moved out of the way. Ray fights are always a mess, right? So here we've got Soul Master hiding behind me. Unfortunately gets caught by the Wood Hammer, and the Trevenant gets another beautiful Unite move to kill him. I trap the Mewtwo with a Rock Tomb, and the Lapras and I are able to make short work of him, but then we have this tree to deal with. Blastoise chased Pikachu all the way to the southern part of the map and finally finished him off. We're finally going to get through all of the defense and HP of this tree, and then there's just another tank behind him. All the while, guess who's been ripping the Rayquaza? But that's Cinderace up there. Now, the Gold Ribbon Venusaur that we had on our team was doing some weird stuff throughout this fight. Now pause at this moment when we're fighting the Blastoise, right? Because, spoiler alert, right at around this second, boom, the Rayquaza gets stolen. It gets lost. Not stolen. We weren't even fighting it. We weren't even aware that we had to be fighting it. The Cinderace is just really, really sneaky. They were an excellent player. Definitely one of the toughest opponents I've faced at this point. But let's rewind a bit to around the start of the Ray fight at the 2-minute mark. This is where the Rayquaza has come up. The Venusaur is scoring there. Actually takes out their goal. And does he come to the center for the Ray? No. Look where this Venusaur goes. He's right in their main goal. That was so funny to me, and I remember telling Sakaven in the game, oh, they've got a gold ribbon, they know what they're doing. They're probably harassing the enemy team so that they don't have time to come to the Rayquaza fights, and they trade 1-for-1 or something. Which I should have realized was not the greatest idea, since Venusaur is one of the hardest late-game carry Pokemon to begin with, right? So we really want you here. Anyway, he doesn't show up here. He stays in the enemy jungle, gets his farm, and then goes to the top lane, and that's where they were when the Cinderace tragically finishes off the Rayquaza right from under our noses. So now we've got a problem, right? Fortunately, the Mewtwo is still dead, and the Trevenant is still dead. But that's 3 Pokemon that got Rayquaza shields, and this Blastoise still has 50. Oh, no. Okay, so I die and couldn't take down either of their shields. That is unfortunate. The Cinderace is already running down, and the Lapras is trying to get him, but of course he has a Rayquaza shield, so we can't stop that 86 from going in. We can, however, score 58 from our Venusaur, who is apparently just being a nuisance up there. One thing I find funny, if you look at the mini-map here, is that Blastoise goes to the top and Garchomp goes to the center. Now, the center goal cannot be scored on, right? The base goal, until either the top or bottom goal closest to it have collapsed. So I've definitely done this before myself, where you run to that one, basically just assuming that the way is going to be open. But it wasn't, because Cinderace went to the first goal, not the second one, that broke at the bottom. And Blastoise is unable to score because their Shifu deals enough damage to where, combined with the damage I dealt earlier, the Blastoise's shield goes down. So they're trying to score up there, and they're not making it. The Garchomp finally gives up and says, oh, okay, fine, I'll go top instead. But guess who's off Death Timer? Finally, is me. So I come up here, the Blastoise has retreated, and this poor Garchomp gets KO'd against the Crustle in a fight for the 5th time this game. So I go back home. I was thinking maybe I should have stayed to help fight against that Blastoise, but the Urshifu wasn't going anywhere, right? And the Cinderace has been wreaking havoc on us at the bottom lane. Let's see exactly what was going on here from Sakaven's perspective. So, right after the Cinderace solo rips that Rayquaza like a boss, Pikachu was still dead, and the Lapras went to go defend that bottom goal against the Cinderace. Nothing to do against a Ray-shielded opponent, though, except for try and break that shield before they can score again, right? And so, here, Sakaven goes down south. Cinderace escapes, kills the Lapras. Now Sakaven's at full health, right? We're near our own goal. But the Cinderace is so slippery. Mad respect to Sharkcraft. Check out these moves right here. Dashes forward, takes the Unite move. He's gonna dash again, kill the Pikachu, steal the energy, and score again. What a play. Now check out the points right here. They score another 62. The score is 330 against 352. We're successfully defending the top lane, right? This is when the Garchomp finally decided to go up, and I go up there as Crustle and kill him. This Cinderace almost single-handedly flipped this whole game on its head. Solo ripping the Rayquaza, going down, scoring 86, killing Lapras, killing Pikachu, scoring 62. My goodness. Well, now here, Lapras finally gets the revenge kill on the Cinderace. And I believe I just sit on the pad as Crustle, waiting to make a move. And that's how the game ends, 330 against 352. Wow. Cinderace almost just put the enemy team on its back there and carried them to victory at the end. But just with the knowledge of what checkpoints we have to reach throughout the game, making sure that we do our due diligence, staying ahead of the curve, going together to secure those objectives, you know, taking care of the farm when it was available to us, all of the little things just amounted to our side being a little bit better than the opponents at the end. But it was a fantastic, fantastic game. Even though we lost Ray, we pulled it off, and it was just an awesome reminder, especially in the early game, of how much of a difference those power spikes can really be. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope I'll see you again soon with another video. Alright, you guys take care.